microphones out there. And so if you will just raise your hand, we'll start with whoever wants to get going right now. We have one right back here, Mr. Storm.
Shocker.
This is for, I guess, Kevin or Scott or Aaron.
All of y'all may speak at once if you'd like.
You're all sort of in the same area. We've all been able to figure out. Do you think that that's going to hurt you in the long run in this Classic? Is there enough fish there for everybody to really pound on them for 3 days?
Why don't we start with Kevin to answer that question first.
It's the most impressive area that I've seen here as far as spawning potential and habitat around it. So the answer to that would be yes.
Kevin says yes. Would you agree, Aaron?
I think so.
We hope so.
They're there. It's if we can catch them.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no question they're there.
All right. Very good. Next question. Yes, sir.
All right. Just was curious that we've heard a lot about the water conditions changing from practice, pre-fishing, and everything else. Is the water changing enough to make that big of a difference? Was the full moon the cause of the tide change, or any opinions on that?
Any specific person you'd like to answer the question?
Kind of open to the panel.
All right. Why don't we can start down here with Brent.
He asked if the tide had changed or affected. The tide really for me has been out. We really need a tide to come in. I'd like to see a good high tide, but it's been low for the last several days, and would really like to see it come up and get high again. I think it'd really improve everything, probably for everybody here.
Okay, this question's for Brent and Bobby. We know where the other three are fishing. They're close. Do you guys have anyone around you? And what makes what you're doing a little more unique than what the rest of the field's doing?
I don't know if it's necessarily doing anything unique. I think it's maybe just areas and being there when the right fish bite. I didn't have any really pressure to speak of. I saw Cliff Pace in my area today. I don't know if he even fished back there where I was, but that's the neat thing about fishing down there is typically you can get away from people and have something to yourself, and I'm hoping that's what will happen the next 2 days.
And Bobby, can you answer that same question?
Yeah, I had a few people show up late in the afternoon that didn't have a limit yet, and when they showed up to weigh in, they did. So, it's getting beat on, but these areas got hundreds of fish in them. You just got to wade through the little ones to get to the big ones. But I think the full moon is helping for sure. I didn't see that many 3-pounders in practice. I saw more 2-pounders and an occasional 4. So I say the moon's helping, and I think the tide, if we could get a little bit higher tide, I think it'll bring in some of those bigger fish for sure.
All right, very good. Yes, sir?
This question's for Aaron. I was there for an interview with you on Tuesday, and you said you were pretty scattered. This place had you confused. What changed between then and today?
Well, I think it was the practice we had. I think all of us will agree they weren't biting very well. Maybe some guys were catching decent, but I stayed up here and ran the Bayou Black area, and it just seemed like the water temperature in a lot of areas was in the 40s, low 50s, and that there's so many mats and so much from the hide into this fish were scattered out in those areas. It's hard. You can't really pinpoint them, and you get a bait right in front of them. Basically, the strike zone was very small. Now, Wednesday we went out and the temperature was like up to 60. Fish act completely different. The water's gone up a tremendous amount in temperature. It warms up quicker. Shallow, dark water. So that's just that was all it was. It's just the temperature of the water, the weather. It's definitely getting better. The wind's blowing some more water into. That's probably helping us a little bit, but it's just that time of year. You get 60-degree water, you expect this happens.
Very good. Next. I've lost the microphone.
No, he's got it right there. Just to
okay.
Raise your hand. Who wants to?
Yeah, the way. All right, Louis.
Okay, Kevin, Scott, Aaron, you guys are all fishing the same area. And from what I understand, the sweet spot of this area is pretty small. How are you going to handle that tomorrow? Are you just going to do what you did today? Is it still fair game for everyone?
Ring around the rosy, that's a good one, yeah.
That's about right.
I was there first.
It was pretty fun. It was pretty funny this morning. I mean, it's not like I was following Kevin. He was out one of the first boats out, and I was one of the last boats out. And I actually was going for where I thought was the best spot, and out of the fog, about 50 yards, is Kevin right in front of me. Right I know who that is. So yeah, it's gonna be funny. It'll be exciting. It'll be nerve-wracking watching other guys catch them and wondering what they got too.
Yeah, I had 2 fish at noon today. I watched Kevin and Aaron catching them pretty good, so it was a little frustrating.
Very good. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Scott and Kevin, you guys being frequent road roommates, did you guys share anything at all prior to this?
We did a little bit. We talked a little bit about that area because he caught him in there on Wednesday, and so did I. So.
One overriding question that I found today on the expo floor was curiosity about the fog delay. Maybe if each of y'all could tell us how far y'all are running and what sort of anticipation of change if we do have a fog delay tomorrow, which is a possibility. We'd like to know that. Bobby?
Yeah, I made the run down to Venice today, and the fog was actually, it looks like we got let out almost, Tripp made a good decision, but it was wide open all the way down until we did get to Venice in the main river down there, and it was fairly thick till you got off to your oxbows there, or bayou, whatever, and it opened up then. If we did have a fog, I'd go down at least if I had an hour to fish. If not, I'd go to Catawatchee somewhere.
Aaron, would you make the same decision?
I'm not changing anything.
You're not going anywhere. I imagine Scott and Kevin will echo that. What about you, Brent?
For me, I made the decision this morning if we didn't take off by 9 o'clock that I was going to fish up here. I've got some other fish around, not in Catawatchee, that I felt like I could go catch a decent bag out of, and kind of probably stick with the same thing tomorrow. If I can have probably an hour and a half of fishing time down there, I'll probably still run down because it's all I had today to catch what I did. So I'll definitely take the hour and a half down.
Good. Very good. I'm sorry. Next question. Any other curiosities? Yes, John. And the next person, please be up here so we can see Sprint with the microphone. Yes, John.
Aaron, a question for you. Would you rather not be leading today?
No.
That was easy enough to answer, I suppose. All right. Yes, sir?
I guess this is it'd be for Aaron and then for Brent Chapman. Which do you think is the better position to be in in the top 5 and have a lot of other anglers around you who are also catching fish, or to make a long run and be by yourself, but have all the possibilities of the long run, what could happen there?
Brent, why don't you take that first?
Yeah, there's definitely some opportunities for things, mechanical failures and all that, but we try to align ourselves with the companies that we're most confident in, and we try to work really hard at having our equipment top notch. So I'm confident in my equipment of getting there and getting back. And is it intimidating making those runs? Am I sore from them? Absolutely. But if I can get down there and have the area to myself, that's what I like. I'm comfortable with that. The guys, 3 of them beating up the same area together. That I like to hear that's happening. I kind of hope maybe some guys go over there and help them. But no, I mean that's just the way these tournaments play out, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 2 days.
Very good. And Aaron, did you want to answer?
I think we all rather fish by ourselves, but like Kevin said, they're there, and it just gotta figure out how to catch them. I mean, there's a lot less variables for us to go through than the other guys are running. I mean, the distance you're running, the amount of stuff that you can hit, we don't have that problem, so we don't have much worry there. And then plus my equipment, all our equipment's in top notch. We make sure that for this tournament, and that's not what I have to worry about. It's not to worry about out fishing these guys, and that's like I said, we're within sight of each other all day. But you gotta know Bassmasters love that. That's what they want.
makes it exciting.
You got
Yes, sir.
Aaron and Kevin, you guys are fishing really close together, it sounds like.
And Scott.
And Scott,
Oh, yeah.
all three.
Bring on Rosie.
Any conversations going on
Oh, yeah.
amongst the three of you
A
throughout?
little bit.
Shed a little light.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked,
We crossed. Our
How big was that one? Sit there, 6 pounds, you know? You catching the fish now? I don't have any big ones. He had 19 pounds. I'm called BS on all of them.
Oh, very good. Any other questions out there for our panel of leaders? Yes, Mr. Price?
For Scott Ruck. Scott, what do you think makes your area as good as it is?
Because Kevin Van Dam's there. No, it's like Kevin said earlier, it's probably the best spawning area in this delta, bar none. It's known for big fish, and they're there, and they're coming. So I think it should replenish.
Hopefully.
I'll be stunned if it's not one there. And it very could be by not one of us three. That's how many big fish are in this area.
Well, Florida bass were stocked there first. True, or what y'all.
I caught an 8 or 9 pounder there in practice, so it's got the ones.
Yes, sir.
Yes, for Aaron and Scott and Kevin, do you guys do you have a confidence to outfish the other anglers? You mean the three other two
The
anglers?
confidence to beat Kevin, you mean?
Yeah.
That's how it's shaky to me.
Yeah.
It's on.
Oh, very good.
The key to our pattern is being fortunate to get those quality bites. If you can get one of those 6 to 8, 10 pound bites, that's a game changer. And it's any area in the delta. I mean, where Brent's at down there, it's the same thing. There's not a bunch of that kind of fish. I mean, there's not like thousands of them out there. So when you get one like that, it's a huge deal. I had 5 carbon copies today. If you catch a 6 or 7 pounder, all of a sudden you got 23 pounds.
And guys, are y'all willing to share bait types, if not particular lures?
Not yet. How about you?
No, I'll pass.
Just thought I'd throw that one out there.
8-inch black worm.
I got 12 rods out on the deck. I experimented with a lot of baits today.
Yeah.
Mine is pretty simple. I'm using the new Tight Lines UV plastics that we've got, using some beavers and 3 and 4 inch beavers. So the UV part of it, I really feel like it may get an extra bite or 2 here or there. So
Very cool. Bobby, you want to chime in?
I'm just throwing a spinnerbait and I'm flipping my new Berkeley Havoc, that crawl fatty, the 4-inch, the black and red one. And that, when you find them down there, they're pretty easy to catch. So.
Very good. All right, John, I'm sorry.
Aaron, it was written, I think, by Bassmaster that this is the first classic in a long time, maybe ever, that your mom's not at. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Is that weighing on your mind at all? Do you miss her? Have you talked to her yet after weighing? How's that going?
Well, we conditioned my dad's, and I'd like to win one as soon as I can, basically. He's getting older. He's still healthy. I'm not saying he's not or anything, but he's healthy still. It's just, he can't move. Literally, he can't move his arms or hands, fingers, from his neck down. I'm almost like paralyzed, and you never know what might happen. I'd like to win one before, something could happen, or I'd just like to win one for that reason, and for my family. More for my family than myself, really. I tell you that.
Very good. Any other questions, guys? Yes, sir. Oh, we have one back here. I'm sorry.
Aaron and Scott and Kevin, you guys are going to be dividing your fish. What's the strategy for you guys to keep doing that? And then secondary question for Bobby and Brent, what does that give you guys confidence over?
Dividing our fish. It's not that small in there. We probably have a 300 to 400 yard stretch. There's probably areas that all 3 of us haven't found yet. There is more than just us in there. There's probably how many guys? 6 or 8 guys.
Yeah, there was
in our tournament, and it's a vast area. We haven't tapped probably 20% of it. So I mean, I know we'll be wandering around after a while, and one of us could trip on it. It's just you hope it's yourself, but if it's Kevin or Scott, you're gonna have to step it up. But there's areas out there we haven't touched yet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for all of you, how many times did you make a call?
Call?
Yeah.
How many fish to catch?
Yeah, how many calls?
I think I caught maybe a dozen.
I had maybe 8 or 9.
Kevin?
Same.
Same. Brent?
I probably had 20.
20 fish. And Bobby?
That's probably between 20 and 30.
All right.
The thing about the area that we're fishing is we're not wading through a lot of little fish. Most of the fish we're catching are quality. A small one's like 2.5 pounds. So we're not catching any real little fish.
Good. Good. All right, guys. Any more questions?
Yeah, go on.
Yes, sir.
The area you guys are fishing, it sounds like it's a spawning flat. Can you visibly see any of your targets in that area?
It's very dirty. You can't hardly see ahead of your trolling motor.
And what effect are spectators between the three? There's got to be.
It was interesting this morning because there was about 15. Scott started too far out. He missed the little flurry, but me and Kevin I think caught 2 or 3 quick. Bam, bam, bam. Obviously they're biting, and Kevin was all excited. He's I'll just wait, and then about 20 boats came in there after the fog cleared. And I think it was a while before any of us got bit. So those fish are heavily pressured, and they're there. It's just when they start hearing trolling motors and all that noise, and they're kind of close. They're polite, but they're for that area, as shallow as it was, they're a little close, and it shut them down. Obviously you can see a difference. So that's going to play a big factor for us next 2 days since it's a weekend. I'm hoping maybe that we can hold them back a little bit. We might have to actually do that together and actually work together to do that. Because if all 3 of us are on one side, there's the other side's going to fill up. That's what happened today. It's sitting on top of them.
Very good. Interesting. Yes, sir.
When you say you're in shallow water, just the top to the bottom?
3-4 feet.
Thank you.
All right. And what was the water temperature in there for y'all guys?
Yeah, I got this like mid-60s today, 64.
Interesting. All right, guys. Any more questions for our leaders? Going once, going twice, and sold. We're going to let these guys go and get some dinner with their families. Thank you, guys. Congratulations on an awesome day. And we will see y'all here tomorrow, same time.